been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while. We have a lot to talk about. Either way, today we've got an MOT coming up on Monday. Basically just going to do the oil. Everything else in the car still working absolutely smoothly, perfectly, no problems whatsoever. Runs like a dream. Haven't done an oil change in quite a while, so we need to do one. We'll see what kind of colour the oil comes out, or if there's anything in it, because it has been a long time, especially on a stage 3 car like this. I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering where I've been, what I've been doing, so during this video we're going to talk about that. So for oil, we've gone for the 5W30 Castrol magnetic start-stop. It's the A5 version. Make sure you get the A5 version. Same for the MAN filter. Obviously when you do an oil change, make sure you change the filter as well. There's no point not to for the cost. I would always say if you're going to get oil, just wait for a sale, or if you get it from Eurocar parts, which normally are extortionate prices until their sale. I got mine from Halfords for like £15 for 4 litres. I think you need just over 4 litres to fill the Ford engine. However, it's not the end of the world. I mean, you're going to have residue left over from last oil change, or from your last oil anyway. Obviously you try and get as much out as you can, but it'll be fine. You'll see, it'll be fine. The car hasn't been washed in 2 to 3 months. It's been abused. So we've currently got the car up on wooden blocks to allow me to get a jack underneath, so I can get underneath and get the oil drain plug off. Yeah, I'll show you all that now. So this will all be getting washed very soon. Today I'm probably just going to slow foam it and blast it with the Lance, and then jet wash it completely off, so at least it kind of brings a little bit more white back to it. However, it's going to snow today, so I'm trying to rush to get all this done. So anyway, obviously oil cap here, your little stick here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off because I don't want to pour oil over this paint stuff. Once again, this is completely filthy and needs cleaning, but this will happen after winter. Let's call it spring. Spring, when it's nice and sunny, we're finally going to clear all this up. I've only jacked the car up enough for me to basically slide myself under and get to the drain plug, but other than that, we're all set to go. Cool. So what you want to do when you're draining your oil, just take the cap off slightly. The reason you do that is basically you just allow air to pass through. It'll basically make it less gluggy down bottom, if that makes sense. So when you undo the cap, same as if you pour a bottle, kind of half pour rather than full pour, same principle with this. So just pop the cap off just a little bit, just so it's ready to go. So I've made myself, basically, this is an old screen wash bottle. Cut the top off, you've already got an oil pan for it. Having somewhere for your old oil, and then you can unscrew this cap and you can pour the oiled oil into a actual container. So that's obviously going under here with me, and now I just need to find where precisely the oil draining cap is. Hopefully it's not underneath where I've put the jack, because if it is, I've got to move the jack over and jack it up at an angle, but we will see. So obviously it's important to start the car up, so I've warmed the car up just for like 5 minutes just to make the oil a little bit more fluid. Okay, so I've uncracked it. That's the moment of truth. Do I catch the oil? Question. You know what? It was not too bad. So while that's draining, let's talk about where I've been, what I've been doing. So obviously most of you probably know I started a new job with Openreach, and the previous years before that I started the car channel because it gave me something to focus on, and I grew the channel pretty big, and it took a lot out of me to spend basically a year of my life, and it was the year of my life, filming, editing, releasing, promotion, working with sponsors, etc, etc. And I'm a lot like that. A lot with basically everything that I do, I set myself a goal, and I don't stop until I kind of hit the goal. So my goal was to become successful on YouTube. The channel's still currently generating revenue. It's basically a income without me having to make videos. Anyway, where was I? That's thrown me off, that has. So yeah, it's basically a constant income. It's not much. It's not much at all. So don't expect I'm like a millionaire or something. You don't make a lot of money from YouTube, regardless. For the time and effort that you have to put in to create good content anyway. So yeah, that was my goal previously. It gave my mind something to focus on. That's an important point to make. It was kind of like almost an escape, I guess we could call it. And then I just had enough of it. A year and a half in, almost 2 years in, the constant barrage of messages, the constant questions with no thanks afterwards. You know, you're giving advice that you've learned along the way, money that you've probably spent or wasted on parts. A lot of people don't appreciate that, in terms of, you know, you give them advice and they just say thanks and you never hear from them again, kind of thing. But you know, a lot of people are just very focused on, you know, what's the best brake horsepower, why is my car doing this, why is my car doing that. It's like, well, I'm not a garage. I can only give my opinion of what I know. I've got a bit of engineering knowledge, so I can help with that, but you know, I'm not qualified, such as I always mention, Warren. You know, if I ever had a problem with my car, I wanted something sorted, I would go to Warren because he knows everything about them. And if he doesn't, you'll soon find out, that's for sure. So yeah, so that's where I basically disappeared to. I didn't want to have the constant chatter while I started my new career, because I set myself the goal in OpenReach to kind of push as far as I could with it. Not so much as get promoted multiple times, etc, etc, but to put myself in a position where I think I've got a career now. So I've achieved different job roles, I've achieved a lot of training, I've achieved recognition for my work that I'm doing, and at the end of the day, that's what makes life tick, doesn't it? We all go to work, we all do jobs, and that's the way that we have to live. Obviously with the old COVID situation, we haven't been out exploring places like that, so it's good for saving up money, getting my own house, etc. But yeah, so that's where I've been. That's what's happened. I now am on a 4-day roster week, which basically means I have a day off every single week, which in theory will give me more time. So if I do want to film more videos, I can start doing that again. So yeah, there's your little update. Anyway, let's go check on the oil. We got to get the oil filter off, which is a pain in the arse to do. Yeah, but once we got the oil filter off, fingers crossed, new oil filter back on, fill it up with oil, all done. So once again, basically I just undone the cap, poured it into this old oil container. We did have a slight oil spill. It's worse underneath. And obviously we just reattached the thing. I would recommend the little plug, the oil drain plug. I would recommend getting a new one every time you do it. I forgot to get one, so I've just used the old one. Obviously I'll watch for leaks and stuff. But yeah, ensure that basically you get a new one just so the seal's correct. Now we're on to the annoying thing, which is the oil filter. Lots of different tools you can use. DC3D Designs, Dave over there, actually 3D printed his own oil filter socket remover. Basically, it goes onto the end, massive plastic socket, and you can just crack that off. It's a brilliant little tool. But all I've got is this. So I've got a chain. There's leather ones you can get which kind of slip, but the chain worked last time, so I'm going to use the chain this time. Basically you wrap this round, obviously you ensure you got it the right way, and then you crank it. Fingers crossed this works. So that's the old oil filter out. I did notice something actually when I was taking it out. I don't know if anyone else has this. I've got the Airtech boost pipes, but it was actually rubbing. So when I was undoing it here, it was actually rubbing on the Airtech boost pipe. Let me see if I can get a view from above. Yeah, so just down in there, it was actually rubbing. So I wonder if any of you guys, I should say I got Pro Alloy hose pipes, not unthingy. But anyway, yeah, any of you guys taking the oil filter off and then it starts to basically catch on the metal. It's quite an interesting one, that. It's like the fitment's slightly weird with it. But anyway, new oil filter here. What we do is we take a little bit of new oil, we put it around the seal, and then we basically, the way you want to do it is you go up and in, and then you twist it over, and then you go on. The reason you do that, it's the only way you can get it, basically. I'm just going to wait for the last little few drips of oil to finish. Clean that up with some brake fluid under there once I've got the filter on, and then fill her up. So while putting the new filter on, I had to undo this to allow me to pull this basically towards me, and that allowed me to tighten it up. As you can see there, it's very tight. So bear in mind, if you've got something like this, you may have to undo that bolt just to give yourself enough wiggle room to actually get it onto the threads and start turning. Otherwise, oil spill wise, it's pretty bad. I've probably killed most of the Atlantic Ocean with the amount of oil that we spill there. Anyway, it's done. So what I need to do now is fill it up, check for leaks, fill it up again. Fingers crossed it all works, because the sky is starting to look like it's going to snow and rain, which is apparently what we're getting this weekend. So that'll be fun. So anyway, let's crack on, get it filled up, and then let's leave it there. So basically I'm pouring a little bit and then checking for oil leaks, pour in and check in, just to ensure that obviously I'm not dumping all this new oil on the floor. There's absolutely no drips. I'd also always recommend, rather than pouring like this, you can see you can see what I mean by that, always pour to the side. You get a much more even pour flow. So it should, obviously this one comes with markings if you guys can see that. So like I say, it should basically eat up this whole container. I'm going to put about 3 and a bit litres in, probably 3.5 litres, and then run it for a second, and then probably pour the rest in. Full dipstick's awful, but it basically should be between the max and min, if you guys can see that. So all you do, just pop it all the way in and then pop it all the way back out again. Currently we're sitting right by the max. Hopefully you guys can see that. Don't know if you guys can see the difference. So there we have it. Oil change semi-successfully completed. What is going on here? Whoa. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will be making more videos. They'll trickle in. In regards to what, I do not know. Probably I still need to do the reviews of all the products and stuff I've actually put on my car, and an honest opinion of them, honest opinion of the companies that I've worked with. Yeah, so hope everyone's staying safe. The world's a weird place right now. So yeah, keep on going, keep plodding through. We'll get out the other side at some point. And I will see you guys around. If you guys do need me, you've got my Instagram, Facebook, or the comment section down below. I reply to everything still. Even though I had my own little moan earlier on, I still reply to every message unless I miss them because of the amount of messages. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys around.